Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain and I am your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 83 of our trek. Yesterday we determined that all the magic happens between your comfort zone and the danger zone. This is called the learning zone. In order to gain wisdom, one of the most important habits that we need to learn is to know when not to talk, or as I like to refer to it as, the cure for that dreaded disease called diarrhea of the mouth. We are reporting our podcast at our studios at Home 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. As we come to an end of another day, we have much to be thankful for. We had a good day of work, a positive eye exam today, and a small group of friends over for dinner as we celebrate a major victory and blessing in the life of a close friend who has come through a major trial for the past 19 months. Although the trail ahead for our friend still has many twists and turns, steep climbs and precarious slopes in the next few weeks and months, our celebration together this evening has us praising God for His leading during these many months. Many of the outcomes of our trek of life are determined by the choices that we make each day. While we cannot always control the path that lies in front of us, as we take one step at a time, we can make the choices that will help to navigate through these trails successfully. As we take each step, we can learn the lessons which each new trail brings to us. One of the most difficult areas of our life to control consistently is the use of our tongue. We need to learn when to keep our mouth closed. Have you ever been in a group of people that you respect and find yourself saying something that is completely out of place? Well, I know I have. Have you ever spoken to a loved one or associate that cuts them to the core, and as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you think to yourself, how foolish it was to say such hurtful words. Our words can lift someone to the heights of heaven or plunge them to the very depths of hell. On our trails for today and tomorrow, we will first explore just how difficult but important it is to control our tongue. And then we will weave 10 practical suggestions on when it is best just to shut up. As mentioned from the very beginning or day 0 of the Wisdom Trek podcast, as a Christ follower, much of the wisdom that I have gained throughout my life comes through God's Word, the Bible. It has much to say about how important it is to choose our words wisely and to limit our words to that which is helpful to others. Christ's half-brother James wrote several paragraphs about how difficult it really is to control our tongues. It is in his letter to the Jews that were scattered across the Roman Empire, and in chapter 3, verses 1 through 12, he writes, Dear brothers and sisters, not many of you should become teachers in the church, for we who are teachers will be judged more strictly. Indeed, we all make many mistakes, for if we could control our tongues, we would be perfect and could control ourselves in every other way. We can make a large horse go wherever we want by means of a small bit in its mouth. And a small rudder makes a huge ship turn wherever the pilot chooses to go, even though the winds are very strong. In the same way, the tongue is a small thing, but yet it makes grand speeches. But a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And among all the parts of the body, the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness corrupting the entire body. It can set your whole life on fire, for it is set on the fire by hell itself. People can tame all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and fish, but no one can tame the tongue. It is restless and evil, full of deadly poisons. Sometimes it praises the Lord our Father, and sometimes it curses those who have been made in the image of God. And so blessings and cursings come pouring out of the same mouth. Surely, my brothers and sisters, this is not right. Does a spring of water bubble out both fresh water and bitter water? Does a fig tree produce olives, or a grapevine produce figs? No, you can't draw fresh water from a salty spring. Wow, if we just read this snippet of James' letters, it would seem like it would be impossible to control our tongues. It is clear evidence that we all suffer from those dreaded diseases called diarrhea of the mouth and foot and mouth disease. Fortunately, what is impossible with humans can be possible with God. While hiking, if you want to see amazing wildlife and birds, you need to be very quiet, which means keeping your mouth shut, even when you want to go on about how much you know about them. So as you trek through today and tomorrow, you'll arrive at 10 clearings along your trail, where you'll be able to gaze through the trees and see some amazing sights. These are examples of 10 times when we should just keep our mouth quiet. Today we will visit the first 2 clearings and then finish up the remaining 8 tomorrow. Knowing when to open your mouth and when to keep it shut is very valuable wisdom. We all sometimes don't speak when we should, and we do speak when we shouldn't. But wise people will speak less because they know the value of keeping quiet. So now we arrive at clearing number 1. Keep quiet when you want to correct somebody, particularly when this someone is a new acquaintance or a superior of yours. If you correct them, you might embarrass them, and you're not actually going to gain anything. They might not believe you, and you could wind up in a dumb argument about it. Taking out your phone and find sources to prove you're right until you shut them down, sure, you've demonstrated your superior knowledge, but a lot of people actually hate that. In many cases, if someone misspeaks, there's no need to correct them because what they said is really not of any importance. If it is really important, meet with them in private and discuss the incorrect information and give them an opportunity to correct it. Or it might be said, never miss a chance to keep your mouth shut. And then clearing number 2, when you have to set a big goal, keep your mouth shut. You might think that announcing your intentions to others will increase your chances of achieving that goal. But research suggests the opposite is true. NYU psychology professor Peter Gollwitzer found in 4 different studies that people who kept their intentions to themselves were more likely to achieve them than those who made them public. Now, the reasoning behind this study was that once the goal is publicly announced, then in our subconscious minds we have already completed that goal. Now, it is better to confide in 1 or 2 accountability partners that will make sure that you reach your goal. It is a much more effective way to make sure that you meet it. Another reason for not trumpeting your big plans is that if you don't follow through, then you'll seem flaky. Please join us for our camp tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. Tomorrow we will finish up the remaining 8 clearings on our trail and when we should learn to just shut up. Well, that will finish our podcast for today. If you've missed any of the previous podcasts, please check out Wisdom Trek on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spreaker, YouTube, or at wisdom-trek.com. If you enjoy our daily doses of wisdom, these little nuggets we consume each day, I encourage you to take the time to invest in yourself in these 3 ways. Invest with your time in improving Wisdom Trek by leaving your name, email address, and a comment on our website so that we can provide you with the wisdom and insights that best fit your needs. Number 2, invest in yourself by listening to your 7 minutes of wisdom through the Wisdom Trek podcast each day. And the best way to do this is to subscribe at iTunes or Stitcher and have it downloaded to you automatically. And third, invest in the lives of others by sharing with your family and friends, in person or online, to journey with us on our Wisdom Trek. And if you haven't done so already, please leave us a rating at iTunes or Stitcher so that we'll gain more exposure for others to join us on our Wisdom Trek. The journal for this podcast can be found at wisdom-trek.com, where we also have pictures, tweetable quotes, wisdom nuggets, and free resources. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide, mentor, but most importantly, your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly or fully, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.